Welcome back. In this short video we're going to look at a very common question that's asked: what is AcuGraph? Well, the AcuGraph physically comprises three separate parts. We've got the AcuGraph processor, we've got the grounding bar, and we've got the measuring probe. And with these three we have the ability to take measurements of the energy of an individual. What we do is the patient holds the grounding probe in their hand, and then we measure specific points on the hands and feet that are on meridians. We have a number of different places we'll actually take that measurement based upon the exam we're trying to do. In this case, the points I was looking at were the Yuan source points, but we may use Jingwell points, or we may use Royo-Daraku points. So there are a number of different ways we can assess how a person is energetically. So what happens with that information when we've got it? Well, the information is passed to the AcuGraph application, which is running on your PC or your Mac. The AcuGraph application interprets those readings and then looks and finds out what is the average for that individual, because each reading has to be individual. It can't be the same reading for everybody. The example being, a very young child is going to have a very high energy level, where somebody who's getting quite old is going to have a lower energy level. So you can't apply that same gauge across the board. So AcuGraph is very smart, and it works out what should that average energy level be for that individual. Now, we don't have to tell AcuGraph what the age of that individual is, but it can work out what the average should be. Now, once we've established what the average can be, we can apply the knowledge we've gained through the measurement to that average, and we can look and say, well, whether the energy is excessive, i.e. significantly above that average, or deficient, i.e. significantly below that average. We can also then look and say whether that energy is split, and a split is when the energy has a significant difference in reading from left to right. So we've measured the flow or the amount of energy in that meridian and in the corresponding organ. So what does that tell us? Well, it can tell us a lot of things. We can look at it from a physical, a mental and an emotional level. We also can look at it from the level of subluxation. So if an organ and meridian is weak, they have corresponding muscle groups and they have corresponding vertebrae that can be out of place. A good example of that would be the meridian kidney organ has an affiliation towards the psoas muscle, which will greatly affect the lower back. So we know that if the kidney meridian and kidney organ are out of balance, there is a likelihood that there will be a weakness in that lower back area. So we need to take note of that and actually incorporate that within our treatment. As the actual treatments within AcuGraph, you have a number of different treatment choices. Firstly, you've got acupuncture points, and you have a couple of choices, one of them being 5 elements. You have divergent channels. We also have back shoe points. We have auricular acupuncture points. We also have herbal remedies, or they're Chinese patent formulas that we've branded and manufactured ourselves. I'll call the AcuHerb range. And then we also have the option of custom treatment recommendations, and custom treatment recommendations are really, really good. And this brings AcuGraph just not only relevant to the acupuncturists, but also to, say, a kinesiologist or a nutritionist. What they have to do is understand what the implication of an excessive, deficient or split meridian is on their treatment modality. So the example I used earlier was the psoas muscle being relevant to the kidney, being relevant to the lower lumbar area. So when you have that knowledge, you can actually customize the AcuGraph application to give you the treatment you wish based upon your treatment modality. Okay, well, that gives it an overview of what AcuGraph is, and to close I would say AcuGraph is simply a device for measuring energy. But where AcuGraph is really, really smart is what it does with that information and how it expresses that information graphically on the screen for your patients, and then what it will recommend by way of treatment protocol that you can use. And when we are on the note of treatment protocol, a really, really important aspect of my practice is I need up-to-date case notes. I can't just prescribe an acupuncture prescription or a herbal formula or anything that I do with a patient and not make note of it. One of the great aspects of AcuGraph is that actually, if you follow the AcuGraph recommendations, you have a full case history. You know exactly what you did, what time you did it, and why you did it, because it's evidence-based acupuncture. And we may look at evidence-based acupuncture in a separate video. Okay, so we're going to close that off now, and should you require any more information, my email address and the company email address will appear at the end of this video. Please feel free, give me a call, send me an email. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.